Flo at Flo Strength. We're here with Wenndy to share a little bit about your story. So can you introduce yourself?
Yeah. My name is Wenndy, and I just turned 40. I have two beautiful daughters. They are 6 and 3. I work as a radiographer part-time at the moment since having kids. And I've been training with Flo since 2022.
22, 21.
21.
Yeah.
Yeah. Long time.
Actually, it's interesting because you joined the gym before I owned it.
Yes.
Can we go a little bit on like how does that compare after I took over? What was training like then versus now?
Don't want to say anything bad about the previous
That's
gym,
not the point.
but since training with Flo, I feel like the workout's been a little bit more interesting. It suited me a lot better in terms of focusing more on strength and just a lot more fun. Great music.
Hey, yes, the music is on point. When you started training about 6 months after having your second daughter,
Yes,
right?
yeah. So when Ava was 6 months old, I was kind of going through a bit of maybe like postnatal depression, just wanting to get out there, do a bit of physical activity, exercise, try and get my mental health back in check. And I don't really do any like sports, so I thought joining a gym where it's structured could motivate me to do a bit more. So I Googled gyms that have creche because I needed to bring Ava back then. So I found this gym which worked out really well, but it was really hard having Ava in the creche because she's not one of those kids that will just stay with the nanny. So it was a big challenge in the beginning because all she wanted was get out of the creche. She cried. I had to hold her while exercising, which made it even more challenging, but it worked out in the end. At times, I just had to come to the really early classes at 5:30 and leave her at home with my husband. I just needed that time for myself.
Yeah. So I think the idea is here. Let's backtrack a little bit. So you wanted to train because your mental health a little bit,
Yeah.
and then the social aspects,
Yeah.
like meeting other mums and
yeah.
just being around other people.
Yeah.
And so we meet those goals, but then it was very, it was very challenging with Ava. She was crying a lot. She always wanted to be really close to you.
Yeah.
We worked around that. It was definitely not ideal. And you actually joined with a friend, and your friend decided for actually kind of those reasons to give up. It was a bit too hard.
Yeah. And her daughter was exactly like Ava. She couldn't stay in the creche. She wanted to be held the whole time. So I think it added a lot of anxiety for my friend because she wasn't really into exercising to start with, and having that added pressure and anxiety eventually just got to her, and she just didn't want to continue. But you just have to prioritize what you need in your motherhood journey. If mental health and physical activity is at the top of your priority, you can work it out. And Flo is always there to help carry the baby.
Yeah, although Ava hates it.
Ava hated
Never
Flo.
want me
never
to carry her.
Never loved Flo.
That's great. Now, I think what's also important to understand is that did you ever feel any pressure from the other mums, or did you maybe just have a feeling that it was bothering other people that Ava was crying?
Of course.
Right? Now, in hindsight, do you think that's true?
No, because everyone's just focused on what they're doing, and there'll be mums that have kids that will just go to creche by themselves and they're happy, but they're struggling to do the workouts. Everyone's on their own journey, so don't worry about it. Just turn up and do the workout. you'll
And-
feel so much better.
And
afterwards.
everyone is so understanding that, well, it's not smooth sailing for everyone. And even if your baby is doing really well, every now and then, your baby will have a bad day.
That's right.
Like we all do. I also wake up and have a bad day sometimes.
Yeah.
And that's okay. Like, everyone's super understanding. Your baby's crying. It's not a big deal. Cool. Now, it's been like 2.5 years, nearly. How has that transformed your life or transformed you? And I mean,
I
take
just
this
can't
wherever
believe
you
I
want.
just can't believe I've consistently exercised for 2.5 years. If you told me that, I don't know, 8 years ago, I would have not believed myself that I was able to just turn up at least 3 to 4 days a week, sometimes 5.
Yeah, I would say more 4
More 4,
than 3
yeah.
ever. But
Yeah, I try to get 4. That's the magic number. I used to be one of those people that I have to weigh myself, look at it and go, oh no, like it's time to lose weight. But ever since I started working out here, I felt like I didn't care so much about what the weighing scale was telling me. It's more about how I feel every time I finish a workout. I felt very empowered. And for the first time, I think I told Flo this 6 months ago, I looked at myself in the mirror and I loved how I look. I still love how I look. I felt very conscious about how I looked before, especially around my arms. And now I love how my arms look. And yeah, just never felt better.
good.
Well, obviously, there are days that I don't feel like I felt good, but most days been really great. Yeah.
So that's okay. There's ups and downs.
Yeah.
That's kind of how you perceive yourself. Now, let's talk a little bit about your goals, because a few weeks ago, one morning, we were training together, and I said, Wenndy, I'm really curious. What are your goals? And you had some, I thought, like personally, really cool goals. So if you want to share that.
Every time I do this thing with journaling, and there's always things that I think about. What are my biggest goal in life? And for the last, since having kids, my consistent goal in life is to be a better mum. I just want to be mentally strong for my kids. Just being able to play with them and feel like I can keep up. I don't have to sit on the side and watch them. I can actually participate in what they're doing. And I want to be able to do that when I'm 60, 70. Well, maybe not with the kids, maybe the grandkids, hopefully by then. Yeah.
How does coming here support your goal?
There are certain days when the workout's really, really hard and I feel like I can't do it. And your brain will tell you that you can just cheat the workout and go, instead of doing 10 reps, do 5. But that's just cheating yourself. And I feel like the moment that I can break through that barrier of not cheating myself and doing the actual hard workout, it translates to me being stronger for my kids. And whatever challenge that they throw at me, I can always try and work out something.
Yeah.
So I guess, yeah, the gym just helps train my resilience.
Yeah, I think you put it nicely, and it's about training you in a safe environment, like not to lose your temper or to keep going despite the challenges that you might have, right? Which when you're a parent, there is even more and more challenges thrown at you.
Yeah.
You now train like at different times. You still come to the mums class.
Yep.
Every now and then you do bring your kids on
Yep.
the weekend.
Yep.
And you also train, you've transitioned towards training early in the morning.
Super early.
Yeah, super early, before the sun rises.
Yeah.
Do you think moving forward, just training is just part of who you are now?
Yeah. Days that I don't feel like coming and I decided that I don't want to come are those days that I regret. I should have just come.
Yeah.
It's just become a habit. It's like brushing my teeth. So it gets a lot easier once it's become part of who you are.
Good. And now I think it's a testament of how important you think strength training is, because your mum's visiting from overseas.
Yes.
And you've decided to bring her so I can torture her. And I'm enjoying it. It's good. But also we can really see how much confidence it's building in her. Like, different generation, strength training is something that's very foreign to her.
Very, very foreign. And initially, when she started doing it, she kept having this thought that I'm not here to try and look good, which is, I think, a lot of older generation feel like when they hear the word gym is when people go and try and look like they have muscles and stuff. But yeah, it's, I think, training her confidence, being able to walk upstairs without feeling like she has to hold on to something.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's very empowering. And I can see the difference. I mean, she's only coming once a week, but just the way she walks, she's had double knee replacements, the way she walks a lot more stable. And yeah, I highly recommend anyone to just give it a go. If you don't like it, do something else, but at least give physical training a go.
Yeah, see how that can benefit your life in all sense of terms, right? Like, help you be a better mom.
Yeah.
Great. Thanks for sharing, Wendy. If you have any words of encouragement for maybe mums that are considering training, like, what would you recommend them to do for their first few classes, and how did you get through that, through the difficulties?
I think the hardest thing was just take that first step and sign up. Even just to come for a trial and check out the gym, meet the members, you'll find that most people here are so lovely, so friendly and welcoming. And I've made quite a few, hopefully lifelong friends through the gym. So yeah, you just got to turn up, and even if you can't do the workout, just being in the environment helps.
Should people be scared if they're out of shape?
No, this is the best gym to try and work on that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's some really strong people like you.
Thank you.
And then there is some people that are beginners.
Yeah, but everyone got to start somewhere.
And there's a place for everyone.
Yeah.
Cool. Thanks for sharing, Wendy.
No
I
worries.
appreciate it.